Hello and welcome to turn number 26. So Eskild, he had a last turn on turn 25 and the game was over because he surrendered, he gave up, he didn't want to play anymore. So you can see that he produced Monster Hunter here. So it looks like there's no fence, so probably 1 or 2 units would be enough to take this city. Then we could move further, and here is his throne city. So, I mean, I cannot feel like I'm not disappointed, because we are basically in the quarterfinal of this game. And Eskild, he decided to play Dwarf Warlord, and I have made a few tests on this as well. And Warlord is actually very good, but not Goblin versus a Necromancer. You could choose Tigran, or you can choose Human, or you can choose Orc, for example. Would be all better than Goblin. So I don't think it was a good choice from him. Now we have like the result in hand as well, so we can actually say it was not a very good choice. It seems like he had a very good defensive position here, so I think he could have done more with that as well. So if this was his throne city, he could put 1 unit, 6 units there, 6 units there, 6 units there, and force me to attack him 1 versus 18. So even if his leader was not here, like we talked about in turn 23 or 24, he could have escaped, and then he could protect his city like 1 versus 3, and surrender that, survive that way. And I cannot see here, but I guess similar position would be possible. So even if he's really behind, he can somehow survive with 2 cities and force me to attack him 1 versus 3, and yeah, and survive the game. But he didn't, and my economy is quite strong for now. I have always had a lot of mana this game, which is different from all other games I play. And my gold income is also quite good. And you can see that I have prepared the Undead Plague, so I could cast it this time on this city and then move and cast it on this city as well. So I could still get like kind of a advantage and growing my cities and reducing his cities. But at the same time, I think that if you block me here, I could only do that and then move back, and then he can disjunct it, and then we go again and again and again. So it's kind of a losing battle for him, but he could have done it. And I think his berserkers went here, so that would have forced me to go all the way back. And in terms of my domain, I think it's quite explained in the beginning of this video series, but I started here. This is my throne city. It's not very well equipped or developed, but I have like 2 turns to create a Storm Sister or a Reanimator. I have 69 production, so I can always rush it and then That's it. In this city, I only started to get like mana and knowledge, and a bit of production, but it wasn't the full point. The point of the city was just to grow as my throne grow. This city, on the other side, had a purpose of growing with units. So we have two flora quarries. So it's the small city. It already have the production of 69. So when it grows one more, it will be 75, 74, and then this city will be really a production site. And this is the city that I took from the Tigrans, and it's also producing mainly gold and mana, not so much research. And then this is the my closest vessel, which was a really shit vessel. I did many tests on before I decided to play Elf Necromancer, and all of them had a significantly bigger city than this, and this also was not separated with water. So I was very unlucky to get such a bad vessel. But in the end, I completed one quest, got Gryphon Rider, and next turn I will be able to move on water with my units, and then I would take this site. I would be able to follow the water and get all the way down here. So in the end, it wasn't necessary to cast Undead Plague, but it was probably the right thing to do, because if the game goes further, like more turns, it becomes more important to have a big cities and more income, produce more units. Because for now, because I knew that I was attacking Eskild, I didn't need to focus on the bone collectors. I could just focus on summon units and then switch over to the casting points. But if the game was going longer, then of course I would move over to the produce bone collector, or produce next research. So yeah, it was on paper a tough match, but it turns out it was not a very tough match, because Eskild, I think he made a few mistakes, and I've asked him in a private message to kind of explain what he was thinking, and then I could bring it up in another video, what he was thinking, what he was planning, what he wanted to do, why it didn't become like that, and if he needed more turns to get to that point, which his strategy was behind. So I think we will finish this video here, and we can just press exit game, and then we get the score, and then we can see that it was kind of even. He was on top here, but you should remember that he also have the spell that casts units every turn, while I don't. So he can, in the beginning, he can cast spell. So you have a lot of units in the beginning, and then you need to pay the upkeep for those. And then at one point you need to stop casting that, and I guess that point is around here. So he's leading the game here, and then all of a sudden I starting to catch up, and this is probably where I got my goal curse, but it's also where I settle a new city and starting to get income from those, and then I'm just running away from him. He have no chance. So the gap is just widening, widening, widening. Yeah. So up to turn number 18, 19, we are quite even. And then when I get my gold curse, I started to convert units, starting to summon units. Then I'm just running away from him. And I guess this graph would just continue and continue and continue until he gave up. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy this series. And if you have any questions, feedback, please drop a comment, and I will make sure to follow up.